First, I just want to tell our crowd how much I appreciate them being here today. We had a great crowd, 8,200, and I'm sorry we couldn't win for them, but I thought they were great, made for a great atmosphere, made for a great TV game for Fox today, and we certainly appreciate them being here. And again, I thought our crowd was really special. Our kids played really hard today. I'm awfully proud of them. That group that was on there and competing most of the second half, I thought Amina and Booker were just so special. Shay and Shaylee, that's them every day. And that's their standard, and that's the standard at Texas. But I thought these two, for being as young as they are in that moment, we got punched early, and that's my fault. I didn't obviously have our team ready to play, and it took us a moment to deal with that. But after that, I guess we win the game after the first 4 or 5 minutes. So not having your team ready to play, that's your coach, and I'll take the responsibility for that. But, it's been a long time since I've had a team have 23 turnovers. We forced 22 and didn't really play that hard defensively. Obviously, right now defense is really a problem for us. And when you take your best defender off the floor and then you take your shot blocker off the floor, it changes you a little bit. You're obviously not the same team when you take 31 points and about 12 or 13 rebounds out of the game, and we just played number 10 pretty dang good and without 2 starters. So I think you have to recognize that, acknowledge that with our kids. I'm awfully proud of them. And again, I thought our freshman and our sophomore today just played really, really hard. I thought, but again, Shay and Shaylee, they gutted it out, played 40 minutes and shot the ball well, 5 for 11, 6 out of 7 for Shay. And so those kids, they battled. And I'm really, really proud of our kids that competed and played today for the most part. We got to get a few more to do it, and that's my challenge as the coach. There's a standard that you have to go by and live by if you're going to be successful in life, and there's certainly a standard here at Texas. And right now we're having a hard time with getting enough kids to be at that standard, but I'll get them there.
Coach, just kind of, we haven't got a chance to talk to you since the announcement of the injury. Just kind of how it's clearly emotional. How's the team handled it? I know you guys went through something similar last year, and I mean the response today looked pretty good. Just kind of what'd you see from the group on that front?
Well, it's very difficult. It's all I can tell you. There's no class that you take in college. There's no master's course that you take to deal with what we've had to deal with. And I've just not had very much experience in my career having these types of things happen. So I love these kids. They're like my own. I love them to death. It'd be just like my own daughter getting hurt. It crushes me. And to know what the work that Rory's put in. I mean, I'm a poor, miserable sinner, but I am a man of faith. But I have a real hard time understanding it. Like, I really have a hard time understanding it. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. When I lost my dad too early, I asked why. I lost my mother and watched her go through 6 months of living hell before she passed away. And I said, I'm going to ask why on that one, too. If I ever get to the gates, I got a couple of questions. We're not supposed to question it, but Rory Harmon's going to be another one. It don't make no sense to me. But we're not supposed to. We're supposed to trust him, and that's what we're going to do.
Questions for the players, if I can. Madison, I'll start with you and then pivot maybe to Shay. Just taking on that bigger role at point guard today, how did it go, and how do you feel you're prepared to do that for the rest of the season? And from you, about Madison play today and further about how the team moves forward the rest of the season without Rory and with Madison running that show?
Yeah, I mean, the point guard position is the hardest position on the court, and just watching Rory do it, it looks easy. She makes it look easy all the time. But me stepping up in that role, uh, today I just kind of struggled with it the first 5 minutes, and I was supposed to lead the team, and I didn't help, and so we got punched the first 5 minutes. So I think it was a wake up call for me. And then after the first 5 minutes, I came back in the game and I just played like coach told me to do, try to take care of the ball more. But I think just learning lessons from the first 5 minutes of the game, it's gonna help me and my teammates for the rest of the season.
Yeah, to go off that, we have all the confidence in the world in Madison running our team. We just want her to know that too, and she will. But yeah, we're fine. I know Madison can run our team. I know she's fully capable of doing so. We see it every day in practice. She works so hard, and it's really only up from here. I mean, she's a freshman, and she just played her butt off in a first conference game. So yeah, I know she's only going to get better, and we all know that too.
For Shay, veteran of this group, you came back to try to win a championship. What was kind of the talk amongst the team of, I mean, we saw the statement Rory put out about this team's not done, things like that. Was there kind of a talk about we still have all this in front of us that we can accomplish?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, it's devastating losing Rory, just someone that puts so much time and energy into the game and loves the game so much. But we have a lot of talent on this team, and we're going to need to step up. Obviously, one person can't fulfill what Rory does, so it's going to be a team effort, and we know that. So, yeah, I mean, like her statement says, we're going to get in the gym every day and put our heads down and work, and we have a bunch of goals, and we still have those same goals. And Rory's going to be there. She's like another coach now, and she has a lot to give to this team still. So, yeah, we're just going to put our head down and work.
Coach, what makes Baylor so hard to play against? This is now back-to-back wins for them in this building against y'all.
Well, last year we were coming off of back-to-back games and we had no depth. I think our first guard off the bench a year ago was a walk-on, and we obviously were much better defensively a year ago than now. I think what makes them good today is they got kids that can kind of spread the floor and shoot it a little bit, and we were really bad with the scout today. Like we did not execute the scout very well, guarding people the way we wanted to guard them. And, we'll do better next time. Again, it's knowing personnel, and, their personnel is good. As far that for not having a big kid inside, they've got kids that can score the basketball. So, we're obviously way different right now defensively without our motor, without our heart. And, Rory brings so much to the table. And I thought defensively is where we missed her the most today. They had so many kids that shot it well. I mean, you can go down the list. They had one kid that went 0 for 2, one went 0 for 1, and everybody else is 50% or better. That's terrible defensively, and, for me, that's hard to stomach. And but again, we've as I told my team after the game, we've got to work harder and work better in practice on that. And Rory's not coming back. We've got our shot blocker out too, and Taylor. She alters shots, block shots, and so we'll get Taylor back and we'll be different. We'll be better and different. And but we've got some work to do defensively because we were awful today.
Back to Jim. Vic, about those first few minutes on the floor with Madison, I mean, she said she learned something. What did you see there in the first 5 minutes that you needed her to learn and figure out, and going forward from there, with her at that point guard?
Yeah, I just think the pace of the game is just so different. we might have gone against that pace. I'm trying to think maybe who would have played that hard that early. Maybe not anybody. And so it'd be one thing to be hanging out on the wing and letting Rory deal with it. It's another thing to be in the middle of the flame. And that's where she was. And again, it's my fault for not having her ready, But I'm really proud of her because I thought she settled down after she came out. She showed great maturity, and she showed an unbelievable competitive spirit. And that's what it takes to play for me. And she's got it. And, I was concerned that it might happen. Maddy's been in a bunch of big games in her career. Maybe not like that one. And for a freshman, it's always good to get your feet wet. Her feet got soaked today. So she'll be way better for it. But I thought the pace of the game the first 5 minutes is kind of what got her. It got all of us. We weren't helping her either. I mean, we weren't breaking hard to the ball. We were, and they came out really aggressive. And you know what? My fault. Probably could have called some different plays that wouldn't have allowed them to be that aggressive, So I'll wear that one too. And but she came back like a champ, played her heart out. How many minutes she played, Maddy?
33.
How many?
33.
Yeah, so she plays 33 minutes. She played 40 against Connecticut. She's a pretty good freshman, don't you think? Yeah, she's a pretty good player. Had eight assists today, 25 points, 7 rebounds. That's a full day's work.
I'll add to that. It's really hard to come back after being tied up and come back and chill out and play really well, especially as a freshman. Haven't played point guard as a freshman, but when you go in a game and you're tied up and then you get taken out, it's really hard. And she showed a lot of maturity, being able to come back and be chill and play how she played and have 25 points and play the way she did. Like, that's not easy to just take a deep breath and come back and play like she did. So I think we all have seeing her do that. I mean, she just needs to have the confidence that we have in her, and I think it's definitely coming.
As older players, were you wondering in that moment how she might react to that?
Like I said, I know how she can play, and so I wasn't ever worried. But I just commend her for how hard that is, because we've all been in that position where you're tied up and you feel a lot of pressure, and it's not, like I said, it's not easy to just take a deep breath and then come back and be able to play the way she did. But I never doubted her.
Madison, what changed for you after coming out and going back in once you got settled a little bit?
The confidence my teammates had in me, honestly. Coach pulled me out, and the first person to come up to me was Rory. I mean, just the support and the confidence she had in me. She sat me down, she talked to me, and she told me to take a deep breath. And when my name got called, I went in, and I tried to do a lot better than I like how I started in the game. So I commend my teammates and Rory for that, definitely.
Hey, appreciate y'all being here. Praise the Lord and good morning.
Thank you all.